"What in the living hell have you done to his hair?" Isabelle Thorne's voice, usually calm and commanding, thundered through the polished silence of Chic Shear's atelier. Her black sports car still hummed outside the upscale Atlanta salon. She stormed past startled clients, her piercing blue eyes blazing, fixated on the sight of her husband, Darian Thorne, at a styling station. His impeccably styled dark hair was now a garish, dripping, blue-green. It was a deliberate act of sabotage, threatening Darian's confidence hours before a $700 million deal that could redefine global energy. How would Darian, a titan in clean tech, rise above this blatant humiliation, or would prejudice, cloaked in privilege, claim an undeserved victory? Stick around to witness how a billionaire's fury and a black man's unwavering resilience flip the script. The Atlanta skyline glittered under the late morning sun as Darian Thorne stepped from his sleek sedan. At 42, Darian, founder and CEO of Zenith Energy, was a visionary. His tailored charcoal suit hinted at his understated power. Today, at 2 p.m., he had a crucial contract signing with Quantum Fusion Corp. A $700 million clean energy deal poised to revolutionize urban grids, making Zenith Energy a household name. This was the culmination of years of relentless dedication and an unwavering belief in a sustainable future. Zenith Energy was set to illuminate the world, but his appearance for this high-stakes meeting was paramount. He needed to project an image of absolute perfection, a quiet defiance against a world that often sought to dim his light and dismiss his achievements. Every detail mattered. Darian entered Chic Shear's atelier, a sanctuary of marble and muted gold. The air, thick with jasmine and salon chemicals, seemed to stifle him. At the reception desk sat Gareth, a young white man with slicked-back blonde hair, typing with dismissive efficiency. Gareth's eyes flicked up, then back down. "Name?" he asked, clipped. "Darian Thorne. I have a 10 a.m. appointment for a trim and subtle highlights." Gareth's lips curled into a faint smirk. "Running behind. Take a seat." "It'll be a while." He gestured vaguely toward a row of sapphire velvet chairs, then turned back to his screen, dismissing Darian. Darian felt the familiar sting of being other, a subtle gatekeeping he'd faced in countless elite spaces. He tamped down the irritation. He'd navigated far worse. He crossed to the waiting area, his loafers silent on the marble, and settled into a plush velvet chair, almost too soft. He pulled out his tablet, the screen glowing with the Quantum Fusion contract. Reviewing it helped sharpen his focus. This deal wasn't just a contract, it was a legacy. The salon buzzed around him, a microcosm of privilege. He heard casual laughter and clipped conversations about galas and club memberships. He felt their glances, brief, assessing, then dismissive. A black man in a tailored suit was an anomaly here. He held his chin high, his posture a quiet defiance. He was here for a purpose, not their approval. His tablet screen dimmed, and he glanced at his watch. 10:45 a.m. The delay was unusual for a salon of this caliber. He opened a note app, jotting reminders for his presentation. Emphasize scalability, highlight urban impact metrics. His fingers moved swiftly, but a nagging unease persisted. Gareth hadn't checked a schedule. His dismissal felt pointed. Darian pushed the thought aside. He needed his hair perfect, soft highlights, a sharp trim to project the polished confidence that closed deals. This wasn't vanity, it was strategy, armor forged in a world that judged him. At 11:15 a.m., the door chimed, and Prescott Sterling strode in, a prominent socialite whose family's energy holdings were old Atlanta money. Prescott, known for his thinly veiled disdain, glanced at Darian with a sneer before demanding attention at the desk. Gareth, however, was all fawning deference. "Mr. Sterling, Right this way, he gushed, ushering Prescott to a prime styling station. The seamless priority hit Darian like a physical blow. Prescott had arrived over an hour after him, yet was seated instantly. Darian's jaw tightened. The injustice burned, the blatant hierarchy revealed. He was the CEO of a company poised for a $700 million deal, yet here he was, invisible. He rose, his steps deliberate. He crossed to the reception desk. "Gareth," Darian said, his voice a measured blend of warmth and steel. "I've been waiting for over an hour for my 10 a.m. appointment. Can you explain why Mr. Sterling, who arrived moments ago, is being served first?" His words hung in the air, clear and unyielding. Gareth's fingers froze, his blue eyes flicking up with annoyance, then insolence. He leaned back, his smile saccharine. "Mr. Sterling is a VIP client," he said, implying Darian should know his place. "We prioritize his appointments. You'll be next, I promise." The word promise was a mockery. Gareth's gaze darted to stylists, who exchanged knowing smirks. Their silent agreement was a chorus of exclusion, reminding Darian of every time his worth had been questioned because of his skin. Before Darian could press further, a voice cut through the room. "Oh, honey," Prescott Sterling called from his styling station. He turned, his green eyes glinting with malice. "This salon caters to a certain caliber of client. Maybe try a barber shop next time, honey." His words, loud enough for all to hear, landed like shards of glass. Laughter rippled through the salon, sharp and cruel. Darian's cheeks burned, but he refused to flinch. His heart pounded with fury and dignity. He'd faced worse. "I belong here as much as anyone," Darian said, his voice steady. "My time is valuable, and I won't be treated as less." A hush fell. Gareth's smugness wavered. The stylists resumed work, but the air crackled with Darian's resolve. Finally, Gareth, under Darian's unyielding gaze, muttered, "I'll check with the stylists." Darian nodded, then returned to his chair. The confrontation hadn't won him a styling chair, but it had reclaimed his dignity. Darian Thorne was no one's afterthought. He felt a surge of grim satisfaction. A few minutes later, Gareth, distinctly less smug, finally summoned Darian to a styling station. As Gareth began applying the dye, Darian noticed the color seemed off, too vibrant, too unnatural. His instincts screamed betrayal. The process continued. Gareth hummed softly, his eyes darting to Darian's reflection with amusement. Darian's fingers gripped the armrests. He visualized the contract signing. But the mirror told a different story. As Gareth rinsed a test strand, the truth glared back. A garish, cheap blue-green. "Gareth," Darian said, his voice low, controlled but edged with fury. "What's happening? This isn't a chestnut. This isn't what I asked for." The salon's hum faltered. Gareth stepped back, his smirk breaking free. "Oops, must have grabbed the wrong bottle," he said flippantly. "It's just a bold look, right? Very modern." Prescott's cackle echoed. "A statement piece indeed. Looks like you're ready for the circus, Thorne." Darian's face burned. This wasn't a mistake. It was sabotage, a calculated act of humiliation. His hair, his armor, now a neon mockery. He stared at his reflection, the blue-green streaks, screaming disrespect. He forced himself to breathe, to think. The contract signing was in 2 hours. He wouldn't unravel. His hands found his phone, his resolve hardening. He dialed Isabelle. "Darian, what's wrong?" Isabelle answered, detecting the razor's edge in his voice. "I need you here," he said, each word a desperate plea. "Now." He didn't elaborate. Isabelle's silence was brief. "I'm coming," she said, and the line went dead. Darian lowered the phone, his heart thudding with fierce anticipation. The storm was coming. He sat tall, awaiting the reckoning. A distant roar shattered the salon's fragile calm. Isabelle's custom electric sports car. The glass doors burst open, and Isabelle Thorne strode in, a force of nature in a tailored white power suit. Her long dark hair was slightly tousled, her piercing blue eyes blazing with dangerous intensity. The salon froze. Isabelle's presence was a thunderclap. Her gaze swept the room, locking onto Darian, then his hair. Her jaw clenched, a vein pulsing visibly at her temple. The air grew heavy with her palpable wrath. She crossed the salon, stopping inches from Gareth. "What did you do to his hair?" she demanded, voice lethal. Gareth stammered, trembling. "It was an accident, Miss Thorne, I swear." Isabelle's eyes narrowed. "An accident?" she roared. "You deliberately humiliated him, Gareth. You thought you could get away with this petty act of prejudice in my salon. You're fired." "Effective immediately." Gareth's mouth fell open, his bravado crumbled. The salon seemed to shrink under Isabelle's fury. Gareth's hands shook uncontrollably as he backed away. "But, Miss Thorne, my career—" He tried, but Isabelle's glacial glare silenced him. Isabelle then turned her icy gaze to Prescott Sterling, who visibly shrank. "And you, Mr. Sterling," she said, tone colder than steel. "Your behavior was despicable. Mocking my husband, enabling this sabotage, this blatant display of bigotry and unprofessionalism." Prescott bristled. "You can't dictate my behavior." "My family's influence," Isabelle cut him off. "Oh, I can. Not only are you banned from every salon owned by Thorne Holdings globally, but effective immediately, Thorne Holdings is initiating an aggressive, hostile takeover of Sterling Energy Holdings." A collective gasp went through the salon. Prescott's face drained of all color, utterly speechless. He stammered, scrambling for his phone, but Isabelle's next words, delivered with chilling calm, silenced him. "You see, Prescott?" Isabelle continued, her voice devoid of emotion. "Your family's reliance on outdated fossil fuels has been a thorn in Zenith Energy's side for years. We've been watching your decline, strategically acquiring your smaller competitors. This morning's petty, bigoted act of sabotage against Darian was more than just a personal offense. It was the final, unprofessional straw that justified accelerating our plans. Your animosity stems from the fact that Darian's clean energy technology would have rendered your family's assets obsolete within a decade anyway. Consider this an expedited decline. You picked a fight with the wrong family, Prescott, and we always finish what we start." Prescott, utterly defeated and publicly humiliated, slowly stood up, muttering incoherently about lawyers as he stumbled towards the door. His exit was a humiliating, public retreat. Isabelle ignored the chaos, her focus returning solely to Darian, who sat tall, his expression a mixture of awe, unwavering love, and quiet triumph. Their eyes met in a silent exchange of profound strength. Isabelle's fury softened. "I'll fix this, love," she promised, leading him to a private styling station. She, the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, personally began to neutralize the garish dye. Her movements were precise, restoring his natural color with meticulous care. Within minutes, the offensive blue-green nightmare faded. Then, she applied the warm chestnut highlights he'd requested, each stroke a reclamation of his dignity. As she worked, a stunned stylist, Miss Anya, tentatively approached. "Miss Thorne, is there anything I can do?" Isabelle simply glanced up. "Just observe, Anya. Class is in session." Anya quickly retreated. Darian, his hair now a flawless cascade of chestnut-highlighted waves, stepped into the sleek boardroom of Quantum Fusion Corp. The executives rose, polite but subtly guarded. James Harding, the lead negotiator, extended a hand. Darian met his gaze, his grip firm, his smile radiating quiet confidence. "Mr. Harding," he said, his voice commanding attention. He took his seat at the head of the polished mahogany table, radiating quiet confidence. His presentation began. Darian spoke of Zenith Energy's vision with captivating eloquence. "Our technology," he stated, "reduces carbon emissions by 45% while delivering unprecedented energy efficiency that can power entire cities." He paused, eyes sweeping the room. "The journey to innovation is rarely smooth. This morning, I faced a petty attempt to undermine my confidence. Yet, resilience isn't just about overcoming grand challenges. It's about maintaining focus and integrity even when faced with the trivial. It's about knowing your worth regardless of how others try to diminish it and letting your work speak for itself." A ripple of intrigued murmurs went through the room. Harding leaned forward, a flicker of genuine respect. The executives were visibly impressed, not just by his data, but by his unshaken composure and integrity. Within minutes, the pens flowed across the crisp white pages of the contract. Harding, then the others, signed. Darian signed last, his name a bold, confident flourish. The $700 million deal was his, and Zenith Energy was now poised to become a global force. The room erupted in handshakes and genuine congratulations. "Mr. Thorne," Harding said, his grip firm, "you've set a new standard today, not just for clean energy, but for leadership." Darian smiled. "This is just the beginning." Later that evening, atop the Obsidian Sky restaurant, Darian and Isabelle sat at a private table overlooking Atlanta's glittering expanse. "To us," Isabelle said, raising her glass of vintage champagne, "and to never letting anyone dim our shine." Darian clinked his glass against hers. "To you, Izzy. You polished my armor, and you fought a battle I didn't even know was being waged for me." Isabelle's grin flashed. "You were always the armor, love. I just reminded them of its steel." "And sometimes," she added, her eyes gleaming, "a little strategic acquisition is the best kind of polish." Their laughter mingled with the city's hum, a harmonious celebration of their unbreakable bond. The saga at Chic Shears felt distant now. Darian looked at the city lights, a vast, sparkling canvas for their dreams. Zenith Energy would light up the world, a testament to innovation and unwavering resolve, a beacon of progress and justice. What a journey Darian's triumph has been. We hope his story of resilience and strategic victory left you inspired, perhaps even a little awestruck. What did you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Did Darian's quiet strength and unwavering integrity resonate with you, or did Isabelle's fierce loyalty and tactical brilliance steal the show, leaving you dazed and wowed? Your feedback fuels our stories, inspiring us to bring more compelling narratives to life. A huge thank you for joining us tonight, for sharing this moment under Atlanta's glittering skyline. Your support means the world to us, so hit that subscribe button and join us next time for more tales of courage, heart, and undeniable triumph. Until we meet again, keep shining like Darian, and let us know where you're listening from.